Tadachi, who is also a physician and chief of surgery at the hospital. I can't say your hospital name, I apologize. It's the Navamitra Hospital in Thailand. He graduated in 1989 with his Doctor of Medicine, and he's also a published author of many articles. Co-presenting with him today will be Dr. Kenneth Maddox, a distinguished service professor at Baylor College of Medicine and formerly chief of staff and surgeon-in-chief at Bentop Hospital, where he's worked since 1973. One of his most remarkable contributions is his work with establishing and developing the internationally renowned Bentop Hospital Emergency Center and Trauma Center. Most recently, Dr. Maddox was honored by having a Texas-based DHR Health renamed its Level 1 Trauma Center the Dr. Kenneth Maddox Trauma Unit. So Dr. Tadachi and Dr. Maddox, please come to the stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to be here in this celebration, especially on the stage with President Kenneth Maddox, one of the most recognized trauma surgeons in the world. My topic today is about Thailand boating accident with a national spout. I have divided my presentation into two parts: mechanics of rubber injury and history of Tango Villa. Let's start with part one. What have an infant, both front and sharp front trauma? Front trauma is caused by and now part of the gearbox, the roll unit of the marine motor. Sharp front trauma is caused by popular weight. An outward motor is a popular system for more. The motor consists of three main sections. The power head. This section, the lower unit. The lower unit or gearbox is underwater. It contains various components including heat and propeller. A three-base propeller at 3,200 revolutions per minute on RPM will impact 160 times in 1 second. This equates to the propeller covering the length of a 6-foot tall man in 5.8 seconds with 14 strikes. Short wound caused by a propeller are crossed between sharp and blunt force wound. A sharp wound with a dull edge, the edges are relatively sharp, may have marginal abrasion. The periodicity of such injury is characteristic of a propeller. Propeller injuries are typically multiple, deep, parallel, equidistant, and curved laceration. Wound exit. If there are two or more cuts, a wound exit may be determined. Okay, thank you. Sorry, guys. If there are two or more cuts, a wound exit may be determined. The wound exit is a line passing through the center of each cut in history. The wound exit is an estimate of the total part of the watercraft and its cover. Cut span is the distance along the wound exit between two successive cuts. Cut span may be measured from leading edge to leading edge or from trailing edge to trailing edge. A propeller is a set of identical twisted blades. Each blade has two surfaces that displace water. The blade creates low pressure that pulls the water forward. The blade face creates high pressure that pushes the water backward. As the water is pushed to the rear, an equal force pushes the water forward. edge is the edge of the blade closest to the bone. Trailing edge is the edge of the blade farthest from the bone. Blade tip is the point on the blade farthest from the hub. It separates leading edge from trailing edge. Blade root is the area where the blade attaches to the hub. Base back is the side of the blade closest to the bone or low pressure side. Base frame is the side of the blade opposite to the bone or high pressure side. Diameter is a distance across the circle encompassing all around the popular base. Diameter is 2 times the radius, the distance from the center to the tip of the blade. The popular diameter determines the amount of the power a propeller can apply to the water or how much load the propeller can push. In most cases, right-hand propellers are used for single engine application. Left-hand propellers are used for twin engine application to achieve better steering control. In case of twin engine mode, to avoid the torque effect, the propeller must turn in opposite direction for the same thrust effect. Propulsion follows screw mechanism. Pitch is a theoretical distance a propeller will move to the water from each revolution. For example, 21 inch pitch propeller should move about forward 21 inches for each revolution, assuming there is no slippage. Impression in sand made by a right-hand propeller, illustrating how rotation and pitch influence propeller pattern. The deep-braided right-hand propeller with 16 inches, pitch 17 inches, have moved from the right to the left. Note that the entry cut is cleaner than the exit cut. The drag coefficient quantifies the drag or resistance of an object in moving fluid. The amount of the drag depends on the density of the fluid. Water is approximately 50 times more viscous than air. Higher drag force means it is more difficult for a man to be pushed away after being hit by a propeller underwater. In air, very few drag coefficient. After the first strike, the subject will be bounced with little resistance from the air. Picture demonstrates that the propeller cannot cut the subject in the air. When we increasing the resistance by counter-effect torque, while moving foam noodle around the axis, the propeller has successfully cut the noodle. Picture on lower right demonstrates cut span. Correspondingly, we increase the resistance by fixing object. The experimental torque will finally shock. The Rhode police conduct the propeller test in a pit. As you can see, the wounds are multiple and parallel, not isolated. In the case of twin engine mode, the wound pattern inflicted by the right-hand propeller always has a pattern opposite that of a left-hand propeller. Sorry. The shape of the cut made by a propeller will be proportional to the depth of the penetration. The percentage will compute from the depth of the blade penetration divided by the diameter of the propeller. A. Shallow 10%, B. Moderate 20%, C. Deep 40%. Schematic illustration depicts the influence of the depth of the penetration on wound shape. Shallow penetration produces relatively straight line. Deeper penetration produces more sigmoid cut or S shape. Schematic illustration depict the influence of the pitch and grade number on wound spacing. A. T-brace 25-inch pitch. B. T-brace 9-inch pitch. C. 4-brace 21-inch pitches. As you can see, compare A with B. The more pitch, the more wound spacing. And compare A with C. The more number of the blade, the less wound spacing. Now that is end of my part 1 presentation. If you don't mind, we will leave the patient until the end of part 2. Excuse me? Part 2, please. Part 2. Let's start with part 2. The mystery of Tangmo Nida Death. Tangmo means watermelon in Thai language. Tangmo Nida was a famous Thai actress, model, and singer. She had a huge following on social media. She had multiple degrees, including nursing assistant. She was traveling with her 5 friends on a speedboat along the Chapia River. She was a good swimmer. She wasn't wear any life jacket or neither were her 5 friends. The speedboat has only one propeller with 3 bases. The diameter was 14 inch. The pitch was 19 inch. According to her friend's testimony, Tangmo fell into the river during her duration at the stern, while the speedboat moved forward. On that time, she was wearing a one-piece bodysuit. How is it possible to feel? Girls know.
Actually, yes.
Yeah. It's not my opinion. It's based on her friend's testimony and, the Royal Thai Police opinion. Yeah. Girls know when someone wears bodysuit, they got to take the whole thing off if they want to pee.
No, that's not true. Because this day they have the
Her body was found in the Chapia River after 38 hours long search operation. According to the rescuer, there were 2 obvious wounds. The largest long cut on the inner side of the right thigh, it's medial side, and a wound with fat protrusion on the right apical fossa. The police forensic physicians indicate that the cause of death was asphyxiation by drowning. Mud was found in her trachea and bronchial tube, evident that she was still breathing when she fell into the river source. A total of 26 external wounds appeared. All wounds were antemortem because lead fell in the tissue. The most interesting wound has 2 types. The largest wound longitudinally and the multiple abrasion wound transversely with different cut span distances. The most surprising wound is the largest and isolated wound on the inner side of the right thigh, 26 centimeters in length, 7 centimeters in width, and 4.5 centimeters in depth. Pictures show The anatomy of the three muscles that were damaged: gracilis, adductor longus, adductor magnus, no femoral or no bone injury. The realistic drawing demonstrates muscle injury. Yellow arrow depicts adductor longus tear. Green arrows depict adductor magnus tear. Blue arrow depicts gracilis tear. On the left, picture shows transverse abrasion wound on her right leg. On the right, picture shows transverse abrasion wound on her left thigh and her left leg. Although these wounds are multiple and parallel, they have various span distances with different angles. On the left, picture shows the longitudinal wound after suturing. On the right, picture shows the green S-line drawn by police, unknown police, and the police claim that it looks like S-shape after suturing. The form stain line to S-shape after suturing. Despite measuring and computing at the static moment, the police conclude that the dimension of the largest wound matched the dimension of the peripheral. On 28 April 2022, the police apologized for their deception. During public broadcasting on 26 April 2022, the police showed an S-shaped suture wound of unknown woman, line that was caused by a popular similar to the wound on the Monita thigh. However, netizens discovered that the image was in fact of a woman who got a cut while dancing at the party from the sun. The video clip I will show you next slide was produced by the Institute of Forensic Medicine, Royal Thai Police. It's related to the extraordinary scientific test for inter-evidence compatible. Let's focus on contamination of the chain of custody and different axes of the popular location. They divide the test into two shots, one side by one side, left, right side, not two sides simultaneously. There's something Thai, but there's a subtitle in English. Could you please turn on volume? The police conclude that Tangmo death was an accident, not homicide, and caused by recklessness of someone on the road. She fell from the stern of the moving boat, and then she was hit by the propeller before drowning. That's the end of my presentation. Now I would like to welcome any question or suggestion.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. Very well.
Thank you.
Dr. Tavachi asked me to make some comments, as I would at a national meeting discussing a paper. I have several comments to make. Please bear with me. First, it may be inappropriate for a male speaker to talk about the physiology, the anatomy of women's clothing, and whether or not it has to come off to pee. And those are things that only women with their engineering of all of their clothing understand. Second, Dr. Tavachi has gone into great detail on an extremely rare injury that I have not seen. But it brings to mind a number of points relating to VIPs. First, you did not describe anything from the propellers that were fatal injuries. Those were all relatively superficial. You did not describe any vascular injury where she might have bled to death. So I would agree with the police report that she died of drowning. Now these injuries must have been very painful, so that the ability to swim or to get to the surface to get air would have been more difficult. So the dying by asphyxiation would have been very difficult. There are a number of deaths that have occurred in VIPs for which there's great confusion, although seemingly great detail in their forensics. And they include Natalie Wood, who died of drowning, Marilyn Monroe, who died of other causes, still being debated. JFK and his brother Robert Kennedy still have areas of concern. And I have presented to this group in the past the death of Princess Diana, and there are new data that continue to come out, including several years prior in her diary. It's been found that Diane was predicting her death from an automobile accident, but she thought it would be from failing brakes. You have brought out the issue of what treatment to give and who gives treatment. It causes me to look at this audience of first responders. Look to your right and look to your left, and what you see are people who are at the heart of keeping society together, be it in an ambulance, be it in a dispatch, be it in a system, be it in the emergency room, the operating room, the intensive care unit. A VIP, such as the patient you presented, always creates great apprehension when they arrive at a hospital. And those people in charge need to have a special level of concern, supervision, when a VIP comes in. That VIP may be any of you. Could be a police officer, it could be a political figure, it could be an active shooter in that hospital itself. So those individuals all are VIPs. The issue of the anatomic injury, as you described in great detail, is different than the forensic issue, especially when it's a VIP. We interact with the pathologists and the police, and often in our conferences we have the forensic report. The forensic report is looking to see if someone committed a crime. The anatomic descriptions are looking to see, is there something we miss that we might change in the future and we might have treated differently. In your descriptions, I see no injury except for the drowning, which might have been treated differently. We are in Galveston, Texas, where there's lots of boats. Boating accidents have the potential for a lot of potential injury. Falling from the boat and drowning, being caught up in the waves, being bitten by a shark, being hit by the propeller, and this brings up the question which you did not address, and that is, were there alcohol or drugs on board which might have contributed to this injury? I would like for you to reflect for a moment on who we are and where all we have come. When I started medicine in 1960 as a medical student, we would not have had a presentation like this, especially in the detail, and we would have just had a few details. Think about it for a moment. In 1960, EMS did not exist. In 1960, organizations like CETRAC, TTAF, and your individual units did not exist. Trauma centers, pediatric centers, cardiac centers, and stroke centers had not even been thought about. CT scanning did not exist. Vascular surgeons, thoracic surgeons had not created their specialty yet, and emergency medicine and trauma surgeons did not exist. So it gives the opportunity, sir, for us to reflect into the future. Where are we going to be 20 years from now? Are we going to have ambulances that are electric, or don't have a driver, or are drones? Are we going to have an ambulance which is the size of a large bathroom in which there can be a Da Vinci robotic device so that when patients picked up, the technicians there can put in probes and an operation can be done anywhere in the world at that point forward. So as we gather together and you hear a lot of scholarly talks, as we've heard on this keynote address, think about where we together and you as individuals can add to the future art and science of what we do. And that's keeping a society alive and healthy and responding whenever they need us. Again, I congratulate you on the detail and on a fine analysis of a rare disease. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the end of my presentation. Justice, not only for Tango, but also for all mankind. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. So those of you that are EMS that are looking for your numbers, your CE number, this falls under the category of preparatory, and the number is 600-512-02. And we're going to go ahead and take a little early break right now. Our break is being sponsored this morning by Preferred Climate Solutions. They are in the vendor hall. And if you can all be back here at 10:15, we will next start with our next speakers will be ready to go, talking about the good, the bad,